All right, guys, let's get straight to it. Imagine you're 28 years old. You just drove a truck full of your friends from Illinois to Michigan for a music event, Electric Forest. You're the one who rented the vehicle. You're the one who got everybody there safe. It's early morning at your campsite, and something happens. Something you believe is serious enough that you flag down state troopers and report it. You tell them a crime happened involving one of your friends. The troopers talk to everyone. They come back and tell you nothing happened, no evidence, case closed, as far as they're concerned. You leave the event grounds alone, on foot. You leave your phone behind, your wallet, your keys, your rental car, all of it, sitting at the Rothbury woods. By the next afternoon, you're dead. And the people you drove up there, they go home without you. This is the case of Jerard J. Jackson. And his family says the story they've been told doesn't add up. Jackson was 28 years old of Illinois, attended Electric Forest in Rothbury, Michigan. Early morning on June 29th, troopers responded to his campsite after Jackson reported an alleged criminal incident involving a friend. Troopers interviewed everyone involved and found no evidence of a crime occurred. Jackson left the event grounds alone around 10 a.m., leaving his phone and belongings at the campsite. His rental vehicle was later found abandoned in the Rothbury area, unoccupied, and his wallet and keys still inside. His body was found the next day, Tuesday, at around 3:30 p.m. in a wooded area near the vehicle. MSP's preliminary finding, death by suicide. No indication of foul play. The medical examiner's final report has not been released. This is still preliminary. Now, his aunt says he had no history of a mental illness and rejects the suicide narrative. She says he was the only black person in a group of friends he drove up there. She accused his friends, specifically Connor Prettyman, who posted publicly about the case, of changing his story. She claims investigators told her the body was found 150 to 200 feet from the rental car, a detail she says conflicts with what Prettyman described. Explanation alleging what Jackson actually reported to the police involved drug use in a group, not a breakdown. What Connor Prettyman is saying is that Jackson was his best friend, claimed Jackson displayed odd behavior the day before he disappeared, and may have wandered off during a mental health crisis. He says Jackson tried to turn himself in to police and was questioned. Prettyman denies any involvement in Jackson's death and says he hasn't been interviewed by detectives. Another friend, Amanda Kay, has said there's a lot of misinformation spreading online and that the group is just trying to grieve. So Jackson is the one who called the police. He's the one who reported something, and somehow he's the one who ends up dead in the woods less than 24 hours later, while the group he drove up there goes home without him. The police are saying there's no foul play. The family says there's no history of mental illness. Somewhere in those two statements, this young man isn't here to tell us what actually happened on that morning. This case is already being compared to Nolan Wells. And I'm not saying they're the same case. I'm saying the pattern is why people aren't accepting the closed case narrative. And I can't talk about patterns without bringing up the Miller case. 27 years old, found dead on June 18th, the day before Juneteenth, hanging from a tree in Miami Park. Miami-Dade authorities ruled it consistent with suicide. Her sister rejected the finding at the press conference. The NAACP Miami-Dade branch says she was found hanging from a tree, a detail the sheriff's office didn't include on its own statement. A lot of what's being circulated online says that Tania traveled to Miami specifically to celebrate Juneteenth, and that part isn't correct. Her sister said on record that Tania had actually been living in Miami since February. And I'm telling you, if we're going to demand the truth from police, we have to hold ourselves to the same standard when we tell these stories. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is being explained. You've got 3 black people, 2 suicide rulings within weeks of each other, 2 families saying that that's not who their loved one was. That's what the pattern is showing. The pattern is also showing grieving families who feel like the investigation stopped the moment the words "no foul play" got typed into a report. It's also worth noting, back to Jerard Jackson's case, that Electric Forest is also the site of a separate, unrelated investigation. A newborn's body was found in a portable restroom during the same event. There has been no arrest, no suspects named. These are different cases, and what we know is all been laid out here. So you can see the line between the cases yourself. If this one moved you, do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here, and drop your take in the comments. I read every single one of them. Sharing this video is the biggest thing you can do to help get Jay's story in front of more eyes. We appreciate you guys for riding with me on this one.